Yes, to answer your question, it was kind of difficult this year. So we had to use a lot of Zoom and FaceTimes with your phone. And actually, I probably FaceTime and our staff probably FaceTime more kids than normal people would probably even talk on the phone to you when you would talk, at where you said a telemarketing, something like that. This whole screen went out. Okay.
Keep going.
And so that was a good technique for us. But because the 21 class was part of when we recruited the 20 class, a lot of them guys have been on campus. Even the guys in Ohio, even some of the guys in Michigan, a lot of them guys have been on campus in 20. So they knew who we were. And so when we FaceTimed them and did Zoom meetings, their parents already had been on campus. The difficult one is going to be, somebody asked earlier, the 22 class, because they have not been nowhere, on campus or anything like that.
Okay, John Hale.
Vince, how do you think this 21 Kentucky high school class compares to the previous groups you've recruited in this state, just overall? I mean, not even just the guys you got, but just the overall talent depth level.
Over previous years?
Yes.
Well, I would have to say the 16 class was pretty good with Drake and Landon and Robinson and Cash. But this class, Kentucky high school football is really getting good. I mean, and I'm not saying it wasn't good, but I'm saying it's getting good to where we can recruit our own kids here and sign about 7 or 8 kids from the state. I think the athletes are more better, and that's probably only been like 5 years, but take a kid like Jagger Burton, he's an old lineman, but probably runs under probably a 4.7, 4.8. Got the Kale Crowders probably runs, I know he runs a 4.28, 4.32. So if I had to rank them, I'll say the 16 class because of what them guys did. We went to 4 straight bowls. So it's yet to be determined with this 21 class, but it was guys that we needed to get, along with the tight end and the running back. And, probably like, I'll say 7 of them guys was a very need to get, and a lot of other Power 5 schools really wanted them guys.
Josh Moore.
Vince asked Mark about this, and I know you spent a lot of time working Kentucky, and it maybe ate into your Ohio time. I guess, how are you concerned at all? I assume you're not concerned at all about that, letting go of that leash a little bit, though, up there.
I'm coming back. Here's what you got to understand, Josh. What happened was we did so well in Ohio that some of the guys Ohio State kind of slow played in the years. They immediately jumped on them guys like early. And then when you see how good Cincinnati doing. A lot of them guys, and this is not a knock against Cincinnati, but a lot of them guys did want to come here. It was just that, for whatever reason, some of the guys we didn't go on. So you're looking at a combination of Ohio State going now offering, if you got the top 30 in the state, they're going to offer like the top 15. And in that range, I would always get like maybe the 6th or 7th or the 8th or the 9th guy in the state. Ohio State has offered a lot of them guys. And so now with me being in Kentucky, and like Coach Stoops said, if we didn't have, COVID, I would have been doing the groundwork in the spring and then going to close in this period when we really do face-to-face and home visits. So it's just because of what happened with the coronavirus was a little bit to blame. But the 3 we got out of there, them were the 3 we zeroed in that we wanted. So it was, it's a combination of both. But no, you'll see us significantly in Youngstown. We would be not a Youngstown, but I'm from here. We would be in Ohio. Trust me, 22 class is pretty strong. Hey, and the sad thing about it, the 22 class in Kentucky is very strong too. So I'm gonna have my work cut out for me.
Larry Vaught.
Yeah, Vince, could you just talk a little bit about Kaya, what you guys liked about him, and then also the guys you're going to be bringing in now for him to throw the ball to?
Well, Kaya, he's an athlete, and you like to, your quarterbacks. I learned this from Joe Montana when I was in Kansas City when they had bought Joe Montana in, and he was talking about how he was a basketball player, and it's sometimes being a point guard. That's exactly what you want your quarterback to be. And we watched him in that state championship game. And that was my first time really seeing him. And I was like, wow, I fell in love with the guy. He's everything you want. He's a good decision maker. He has a good arm. But the main thing is he's athletic. And in this league, you know, Larry, in this league, you got to have some athleticism at quarterback to sometimes escape them guys getting upfield. And the guys he's going to throw to, I mean, we could go down the line. The receivers, the Kale Crowd is 4-3 all day. Here's what people don't understand. The kid has a 46-inch vertical. And I'm going to say that again. He has a 46-inch vertical. That's what makes the kid explosive. That's why Oklahoma, Ohio State, a lot of guys offer them. Christian Lewis and Magwood and Devon Ross. I really think we got 3 good players that's playmakers, which I think with the new system is going to go very well. If you watch the Rams, they being 4 wides, 5 wides. They're going to fit right into our new system.
What about Dingle?
Oh, dude, you know, that's personal. Dingle, you see, the reason why we got Dingle, I really believe it came down to the last probably 3 games he watched, if you honestly asked him, and they see the way we threw the balls to the tight ends, and he really fell in love with that. And, dude, he's athletic. I mean, Coach Stoops, I think he was going to fire me if I didn't get him because we offered him as a sophomore, and we really recruited that guy for the next 2 years. So I'm very excited to have him, very excited.
Justin Rowland.
Hey, Vince, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
I thought you were wasting 2 years of your life recruiting Dingle. I didn't think there was any chance he was going to Kentucky. Was it a little bit of a surprise that you were able to win him over in the end, or did you have a reason to be confident all along?
Come on, Justin. You know me, man. We've been dealing with each other. Here's what I'll tell you, though. You were telling me that, and it really was. I thought we was going to get him. Then it turned a little bit, and then I thought we was going to get him. Then it turned. I actually think we got him probably about, I'll say about 3 weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago. Me and him had a good conversation. I talked to his mom and dad on the phone, and we were going back and forth. And, you know, I just told him, you know, what he meant to us, what it would be to the state. And that thing really did go down to the wire. So you were right on that. And I think it flipped within days. But he was kind of torn. He was torn. And, you know, I told him, I said, man, you can't make me look bad. I can't lose you. So I thank God that we got him. He's a great family. Their family is great, and he's going to be a great player here.
Nick Roush.
How did his brother play into this equation? How did Justice end up at UK?
So I'm going to tell you, like, people think like it was like a package deal. Our guys, Chase Heike and them guys that's in the recruiting office, it came up that Justice was going to probably transfer, and he went to transfer portal. And I told people this. He was a part of the old staff where he was an outside linebacker. New staff comes in, they go to a 4-3, they move him to a down lineman. We had a need. If we didn't get Jordan Dingle, we still was recruiting Justice. And it just so happened, you know, a little magic here and there. We just worked it out together, and it was a, package deal. But we are you get an older guy coming in with some experience, with a great work ethic, and he kind of reminds me, just talking to him, he kind of reminds me of Josh Pascal, like the same type of personality. So if he can be like that, that's going to be a big, big, big boost for our defense.
Derek Terry.
Yeah, Vince, going back to the Kentucky high school football scene, back a few months ago when Frederick Douglass and North Hardin played, I think you guys had 4 commitments in that game, and then obviously for future classes, more guys that you're recruiting. Just how significant did that game seem, having that many guys who were going to be playing at Kentucky?
Huge. It was huge, very huge. And that's what I'm saying. That's a great, great question, Derek, that you see that in Ohio. You see that in, Georgia. You see it in Texas, where multiple committed guys playing against each other. I rarely think you've seen that in Kentucky. I know when I first got here, you didn't even see one guy. So that was a very game that was very important for the state, but also important for the state of Kentucky. Kentucky high school football, I heard Coach Stoops talk about them. The high school football is really, really, man, it's going to another level. And there's a lot of young talent here. I mean, I can't say names, but you guys know even that 22 class who probably be the main guy. And it's just, I take my hat off to these coaches because the product and how they being developed and coached is really the reason why that we recruiting them now and recruiting, a lot of them schools. You saw talk about North Harton and what you call it, man, what's the name of that? What's the name of that school? Frederick Douglass. Them two programs are very, very solid in the state, and we will be recruiting both of them schools for a long time. Both Big Pete and my man, my man in North Harton. I really love him, man. He just, Coach Thompson is a good dude, and what I love about both of them coaches. Their student athletes come here with great GPAs. Sometimes you're recruiting kids, and you got to try to get them eligible. That is not the issue with North Harton and also Bowling Green. So don't let me throw that, and then Frederick Douglass. But Bowling Green, same thing. So I love this state. The football is great. We're going to see some great football. We can't watch it, but it's going to be some great games this weekend. And I wish I can see Dingle play this weekend. That's going to be a great game this Saturday.
John Clay,
Vince, you talked about the playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Considering the way you guys struggled on offense at times this year, how were you able to hold on to those guys?
Oh, that's a lot of praying, talking to the Lord, and just I think we held on to him because you got to first start with Coach Stoops. A lot of these guys, they met him, they talked to him. He's a great guy to play for. They know he cares. Honestly, just this state and how the people is, like, a lot of these guys see things. You get on Twitter now, you get on the internet, and you can see, like, the love that the BBN has for Kentucky football. But probably the final thing that I would say, if this was a different year where guys can take visits, we might have really been holding our breath. But because of what happened with COVID, guys were not able to go other places. You can do all the Zoom meetings you want. A lot of our guys been on campus, and then when COVID hit, it was just shut down. So I just think with guys not being able to go places and take official visits really benefited us.
John Hale,
It's kind of building off that. What were you telling recruits over the last couple of weeks as Mark was searching for the new offensive coordinator, and then after it became apparent it was going to be Coach Cohen? What were you telling them about his offense?
Well, I actually went with Coach Stoops on one of the interviews, and I could just tell I knew what his philosophy was. And, he shared some things with me about, he knew it was very important. So I didn't say names, but I told him what type of offense we were bringing in. And then it started leaking out, like, the couple guys that were being interviewed. I was in contact with a lot of recruits, a lot of our guys, mainly the skill guys. Let's be honest, the skill guys wanted to know. And then once we hired Lee, like Stu say, everybody say nothing but great things about him. It's going to be a great offense. We still going to, we great at running the ball. So just add off of that stuff and what he's going to bring in. You watch the Rams play, and I just told our receivers that was committed to us or ready to sign. Just watch the Rams, and then you'll see why you should get excited. So it was a thing where once the change was made, I got a lot of calls. And that was rightfully so. But I think the guys trusted me and Mark, and they knew that he was going to get the right people in here, get the right system, and the rest. We also had to hire an O-line coach, so there was things that we had to tell people that, hey, this is coming. Just be patient.
Josh Moore,
Vince, on Liam, I know the offense, does what it does as far as recruiting guys, who might get excited about that. But what does he bring? Just what is his energy or where he's familiar with? What does that kind of add to the recruiting picture?
Let me tell you something. I texted Liam yesterday, I believe, to congratulate him. I knew, I kind of knew it was him. And I wanted to say, man, it really made my job more easier to recruit skilled guys, because let's be honest, everybody want to be in the system. If you're a running back, a receiver, a tight end, you want to be in a system that's like basketball and get the ball to receivers. But also running backs, if you watch in O-line, his system really showcases us for our line to show that they can run block, which we are very good at, but also, being able to pass pro. And that's going to make guys make a lot of more money. So he's a guy, man, just the people I talk to, straight organized, know what he wants to do, know where he wants to go with the ball, and he's a good communicator with the quarterback. And just alone, if you communicate with the quarterback and he knows where to go with the ball, you will probably win 1 or 2 more games just alone with that, because there are throws that need to be made, and sometimes they're not made, and it can be the difference of you winning the game.
Okay, we'll do these last 3 questions with Lonnie, then Jeff Drummond, and then Mark Story. Lonnie, go ahead.
Mute, Lonnie.
I was at the game with North Hardin and Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, that's my old school. But anyway, I saw Lavelle Wright, and I was very, very impressed with the physicality of this young man, and how he breaks tackles and makes people miss, and also he can run over people and around people, so to speak. Based on what UK's ability has been in developing running backs, talk about Lavelle Wright and what he brings to the program.
Lavelle Wright is one of the greatest young men that I've met, and I've recruited a lot of guys, and a lot of them guys are good kids. He's a 3.8 student. He really loves God. A young guy like that, he loves God. He's a leader. And I was so happy to see him on that stage, because I think people they didn't really know about him. And I said, man, Lavelle told me the night before, he said, Coach, they're going to know who I am. And he said, I'm going to be the reason why we win this game tomorrow. I watched Lavelle when I went to watch Oxidine his junior year. And I text Coach Stoops and Coach Grant and say, listen, I just watched the back. It kind of reminded me. We always say Benny, but it kind of reminded me of Benny and Chris Rodriguez type. Very tough, catch out the backfield, pick up the blitz, but get them tough yards. And he's going to be one of them guys. He came to camp. I'll never forget, he drove up here by himself, came to camp, and earned a scholarship when he already had offers from other places. That tells you a lot about a kid. I'm telling you, the Big Blue Nation really going to love this kid. He's going to be involved in a lot of stuff off the field, but he's exactly what you want in a young man. Very smart kid, and I'm telling you, it's an honor and a blessing to get him.
Jeff Drummond.
Hey, Vince, you were asked about the Ohio guys or lack thereof earlier, but you did get a couple of them.
Yeah.
Those prototype Buckeye State offensive linemen that John Schlarman has had a lot of success with, and just curious about what role he had in identifying those guys early and helping them become Wildcats.
Man, you're about to make me get emotional, because I think about my guy every day, and so he's a guy. When we start looking at recruits, he's a guy. Hold on, man, that caught me off guard. I'm sorry. Coach Schlarman is a guy that knew how to identify linemen. I mean, we are getting debates, and man, we are getting debates, and he'd tell me, he said, "Big dog, that's the guy." It's hard, man. I really, it's hard. He has identified all the guys, the linemen we brought in, and I never would offer a guy without his approval. And you talking about a guy that really had a culture to know how to bring guys in. We would go tag team. We would drive to Ohio. we'd drive to, you know, we'd be in Kentucky if we had to go further in Kentucky somewhere, and he just was great, and it was all him. He loved these two guys we got from Ohio. We got on them very early, and he said Paul minded him up Stenberg, and he thought Dave would be a real big time guy when he leaves here. You know, Dave dad played in the NFL like 13 years, and you know, it's hard on them guys. I don't think people really understand, like, John really was involved with these linemen, and then, you know, when that happened, you know, I always check with them guys just to make sure they were okay. Gonna miss them. Gonna miss the people that he identified. Make no mistake about it. You see the type of line we had the last couple of years, and if I can identify and be half of what he bought, we'll be pretty good for the next couple of years.
Okay, last question is Mark Story.
Hey, Vince, two things. How big was John Sumrall and the success he had in Georgia and a little bit in Alabama to this class? And who's your under the radar guy? You usually on this day give us somebody that's not getting enough attention, you think, in the class. So who is that this year?
First, John Sumrall I'm telling you, John Sumrall is a good recruiter. He gives me a run for my money. Like, he really, like, John, I can see John coming in my home and recruiting my son, and us falling in love with him. Say, hey, you're gonna play for this guy. He's a very personal guy. He can adapt to any situation. He don't see color. He don't see economic status. He's just a guy. He's a good guy, and it's not surprising to me the guys that he signed and down south and really went into them states and got them guys. He's kind of like a people. Somebody here, John Sessions Wall called me the people champ. I said John might be giving me a run for that because he's just a guy, man, that I even like being around. Meaning, like, if my kids were younger, they'd go play for him. So, and then what was the other question? The sleeper. Yes. I'm telling you who I think is going to be a sleeper in this class, and I think it's going to be. I got two guys. I'll say, because they might say, "Oh, you just saying it because he's your guy," but I'm gonna tell you, Jamarius, is I'm saying that right, Slack? Jamarius Deacons. He's 6'6" and a half, 275, 83-inch wingspan, runs a 4.7, low 4.7. He's gonna be a guy that I think, like that SEC type body and athleticism. I think him, and then I think Devontae Ross. People starting to see him, but I think he can actually contribute, I think, early. I think he's going to be a really good player. We all know the guys at the top of the class, you know, DeKale, Jagger, all them guys, Chauncey. But I think them two guys you're going to be talking about. I really do. I do.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back in touch with you on our next media availability. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.